3 Max Ball Friday. Tennessee, Florida, Greg, we left with my prediction there. I need yours. How does this game play out?
I lean Tennessee. I just think there's still a lot to play for Tennessee. Florida, I think we've kind of seen the last surge from them. I have a hard time thinking they could put it together.
All right, so we got that one out of the way. We'll continue moving through some SEC games coming up this weekend. Then we'll go national. Stanford Steve with us at 9:30. Before we do that, Greg, tell our listeners about Bromberg's.
Well, Bromberg's been my go-to for a very long time. I'm always so grateful to the wonderful people at Bromberg's for the help that they've been able to provide for me. I always know when I walk in, I'm going to be helped out. I don't know a lot about jewelry, but I know the people that do. And at Bromberg's, they've been serving this community for a very long time, since 1836, and they've helped make Christmas wishes come true for generations. Whether it's designer jewelry, luxury watches, dazzling diamonds, fabulous giftware, celebrate the gift-giving season now with an unforgettable gift from Bromberg's. And, of course, it always comes with complimentary gift wrap in their signature silver box. So you'll get a gift that they will treasure forever. Visit them in Mountain Brook or at the Summit. You can always shop online at brombergs.com.
All right, before we go through the rest of these SEC games, well, we're going to do that first, and then we'll come back to this. Jordan Reed, NFL draft analyst who's joined our show multiple times, has his initial top 50 that he has released. So I want to get to that because it's interesting with the way some people are looking at a few national teams. We'll talk about that in just a moment. 800-239-9569. You want to get in. 800-239-WJOX. A couple other SEC teams that we need to get to. SEC games. First, Sonny is in Mobile, wants to talk college football. Welcome into the show, Sonny. Is it sunny in Mobile now?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing?
Doing great. Thank you.
Yes, sometimes I listen to the show that comes on after y'all. I think one of the guys' name is Pat. But they keep saying that Kalen DeBoer inherited a great roster. Where are they getting this from?
Probably recruiting rankings.
I mean, where are all the great offensive linemen, running backs, and edge rushers? I mean, I don't.
Well, Tyler Booker went, 10th last year overall?
Yeah.
Caden Proctor, a lot of people said before the season was going to be the number one pick. Said, don't question us. He's the greatest lineman I've ever seen.
So y'all think Kalen DeBoer inherited a great roster?
I think he inherited a good roster. Bordering on great.
Honest opinion, I don't think that the roster was great by any stretch.
I don't either.
I think especially, and I think they're coaching them up. But if you look at it, let's just go through it. Okay, he recruited Ryan Williams. He brought Jeremy Bernard. What other receivers were on the roster that are still playing? Zero. He had Kendrick Law, who's been an adequate player for Kentucky this year. He had Kobe Prentice, who hasn't, I don't think, done anything for Baylor. He had Emmanuel Henderson, who went to Kansas and actually, I think, has done okay. But, I mean, it's not like he had great receivers. Okay, you look at the offensive line. He did have Tyler Booker. Great player. Great player. He brought the center with him. Right guard he inherited, but that right guard that he inherited hasn't even really been playing that much. So the offensive line I don't think was great by any stretch.
Some people would have told you last year Milroe from a talent perspective was elite.
Who would have told you that?
Some people would have told you that Milroe from a talent perspective was elite, and I don't think that they would have been wrong.
Not on this show. I think from a skill set standpoint.
Yeah, talent. Skill, yeah. Not as a quarterback.
He has great skill, but I don't think he was a great player, by any stretch. I think he was a good player that had great moments. And then defensively, I mean, who's the super dynamic pass rusher that he inherited? Like Yanzi Pierre has become that. I think Yanzi Pierre's become a great player. LT Overton's a great player. I think Deontay Lawson's a great player. I think Keon Sabb they recruited. They inherited a couple guys, but I would argue that the roster that he stepped into was probably one of the weaker rosters that Alabama's had in 20 years.
I think
that
that's
fair, Cole?
part of our problem here is when you're saying it's a great roster or a good roster, whatever that is, it's difficult for us to not compare it to 2013, 2017, 2020, because those teams were
Insane.
ridiculously talented, elite, great, whatever it is. Now compare the roster that he inherited to 80%, 90% of college football, and it's going to be better. It just is. But it also think too, when you take over a team in today's college football, it's not just the guys individually and what they're capable of doing. I think some of it is what type of individuals are you coming in and taking over. And there has to be a patchwork nature of just keeping guys together to go try to help you win some games year one. Then you start bringing in the personality types that you want, that you think can help more, and you go from there. So I think it's multifaceted, but just on the hoof, I think he had some talent. Do I think it was an elite roster? No. I think it was good, leaning more towards great when you look at the rest of college football. I mean, how many teams had a better roster top to bottom than they did last year?
Let's go through it. I'm glad you asked, because that was going to be my next question. Let's go through the rosters. Whose would you rather have in 2024? The roster he walked into. Okay, you ready? Ole Miss.
Probably Ole Miss.
Yes, by a mile. And that Ole Miss team, I think most people would trade places with, by the way. That team was stacked across the board. Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
Georgia.
I think Georgia, but
You would take Georgia for sure. Just roster. Tennessee.
I think last year was Tennessee.
Yes, it was. Correct. Let's keep going. LSU. Just roster.
I'm trying to think back to last year's LSU. Oh, you had Will Campbell. You had Emory Jones.
You had four
Mason
offensive linemen
Taylor.
drafted. Four offensive linemen drafted. You had two edge rushers that were legit.
Yeah, not as good. Not as good a personnel and defense as this year, but it's probably still LSU.
Close, but here's a real interesting one. On defense, you're definitely taking this group. South Carolina last year.
I mean, you still had Sellers. You had Harbor that maybe you think you could turn into somebody. You had all those D tackles. Yeah, probably South Carolina.
Missouri.
Now I might have to stop you on there.
Okay, I wouldn't take Missouri.
It's
by the
closer
way.
than people think, though.
A&M.
What was so different about A&M last year than this year is what I'm trying to think.
Not much. They're kind of the same.
Yeah, do you like Nick Gordon, or are you good with Cassius Howell?
Those guys are both pretty good. I don't know.
Probably A&M.
And here's what I'm saying. All right, that's just in the SEC. Okay, let's go nationally now, if we may. And this is not some like apology tour by any stretch. You got what you got. Notre Dame. I'll stop you. Notre Dame. Okay, keep going. Oregon. I'll stop you.
Notre Dame's is dependent on how you want to play football too, though. Like, if you want to go, if you wanted to go try to throw the ball, I mean, I don't think you were taking Notre Dame's roster last year.
What about their defense?
Which you probably weren't taking Bama's either.
Filthy. Ohio State, of course. Like that one goes without saying. That team was stacked. Absolutely stacked. Penn State, just roster.
Yeah, if I get Tyler Warren, man, it's gonna be tough to turn down.
Yeah, how about Abdul Carter?
A couple of running backs, Danny Dennis Sutton.
Both backs.
I mean,
yeah. You're definitely taking Penn State. Here's one that's real interesting. What about Indiana last year?
All right, I'm taking Alabama's roster over Indiana last year. I'm sorry.
Okay. How about this one, Miami?
I know the Cam Ward part of it. I know you had Damian Martinez, Ruben Bain. You had Restrepo. I mean,
they were pretty dirty dudes. You still had Payne. You still had Mesador. They were pretty dirty. They were totally unsound on defense, but they were pretty dirty.
Yeah, you had Arroyo at tight end too, who could stretch the field as a big target.
Right.
That was nice. That one's close, man.
Close. Clemson.
It's hard to not look at what it's turned into this year.
I know it's going to impact your brain, but that was a dang good football team last year.
No, it was a lot of talent. I don't think there's any doubt.
A lot of talent. So, like, here's what we're saying.
Okay, let's flip it this year. What's Justice Haynes doing before he got hurt?
Yeah. Oh, Justice Haynes.
He was on the roster. So, I mean, you had him. We still had Tyler Booker,
No question. They're not a slouch outfit.
Ryan Williams was on the roster.
Correct. But this is the roster he inherited. So the roster.
Yeah, you still had. I mean, we had Robbie Utes and C.J. Dupree like that. Those guys can help do some things.
Heck yeah, they could. They were very solid. They're very, very good roster. Like we said, elite, probably not. And if we're talking like rosters, just flat out rosters, like look where guys got drafted. I mean, it's not like Tyler Booker got drafted high for sure, but like look at everybody else. Look at the draft grades for this year. Like he has a really good roster, but it's not the best roster in college football. It's not I don't even think it's a top 5 roster. I think he's coaching his tail off. I think I think he coached his tail off last year. And he just had a very Jekyll and Hyde quarterback, and on the bad days were bad days. On the great days, there were great days. So I that's why I've said from the get-go, I think Kalen DeBoer is a top 5 coach in college football. Now, just coach on game day, I don't think there's 4 guys better than him. I mean, that guy on game day, getting it to the finish line with more points than the opposition, there's very few that do it better than Kalen.
Had Jihad Campbell last year. Had Jihad Campbell last year. Had Tim Smith last year. Had Malachi Moore last year. So I don't want people to think that we're saying the cupboard was bare and it wasn't a good roster. I still think it was a very good roster, but elite, great, top 5, maybe not even top 10 in the country based on the conversation we just had. So they're all fair points.
Malachi Moore was a 4th round pick. He wasn't Mark Barron. Malachi Moore's a good player. Jihad Campbell, great player, great talent. But Jihad Campbell, there used to be 8 of those guys on defense. 8. Maybe 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's different.
It was different. Tyler Booker, you had 3 of those guys on the O-line. You know what I mean? It's just different. And it's okay. You can still win. It just puts a huge premium on coaching now. Huge. So you got to have a guy that knows how to coach, that knows how to situation, that knows how to steal points before the end of half, that knows how to turn you over and create disruption for the opposing offense. Like it's a lot of coaching now because the personnel that you're able to accumulate is not going to be what it was under Nick Saban because the rules are different now. I mean, guys are spread out. It's a lot harder to accumulate and stockpile talent that will stick around and wait and develop for 3 years before they're thrust into a starting role.
Sure.
It's just different now. So it's not a knock. It's just you got to adjust. But as far as like the roster, if we hold the roster to the Alabama standard, quote unquote, the roster now is not at all what it was 10 years ago. And that's okay. You can still win it all. It just you're going to have to do a lot of the little things because the margins are slimmer.
Yep. All right. 800-239-9569. You want to get in? 800-239-WJOX. Melvin wants to chime in on college football. Welcome into the show, Melvin.
Hey, thanks, guys. Hey, Carl, I want to ask you, excuse me, coming from an Auburn fan perspective, I hear a lot of if we could get John Summerall and maybe keep Coach Durkin at defensive coordinator. Do you ever hear that, and what do you think about it?
I mean, I think any coach that comes in is probably going to have to at least consider or would in some way, shape, form, or fashion want to keep DJ Durkin as a defensive coordinator because of what he's done with this group, because of the relationships that he would have with the guys in that building. But you cannot solely make the decision based on that. You can't only go look at vet candidates, talk to candidates that are willing to potentially keep him. If you think that highly of him, just make him the head coach. And I honestly do not know right now what the level of desire is from DJ Durkin to be a college head coach anymore. I just don't know. I haven't had that conversation with him. I think because it's in front of him, he'll consider it and he'll talk to him about it. But I don't know if he's clamoring every day to just get the next head coaching job possible. If that's the case, I think he could have been out and taken a smaller one. So I think it'll be discussed. I think there are multiple candidates that they're talking to would love for it to happen. But not only does whoever they hire as head coach want to make it happen, he has to want that to happen also. Does he want to be the DC under whoever's hired as the new head coach? I don't know. There are some possibilities that are out there that I think that could easily take place. But you don't go into it saying that's the last way you want to start off with a new regime, is telling them they got to keep somebody in there, especially somebody at that spot. It could easily take place, but I don't think it's a must by any stretch of the imagination. Beham Dog would like to chime in. Welcome in, Dog.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen, and happy Friday. Hey, Greg, you spoke about something a couple weeks ago about the talent distribution, about how the gap has closed between, your top-tier SEC teams and your middle to lower-tier SEC teams. For example, Vanderbilt, because of the talent distribution, kids are going, because of NIL, are going to some of these other schools. Do you think that has something to do with the gap between the SEC and the Big Ten seems to be not only wide, and I guess you could say it's actually the Big Ten's kind of surpassed us in an aspect because they've won back-to-back national championships, that your teams like Alabama, Georgia, and LSU and, Texas are not hoarding all of the elite talent. They are now being scattered out. Has that closed the gap or maybe allowed the Big Ten to surpass us? And I'll hang up and listen, guys, and have a great weekend.
I don't know if I would say that it's necessarily put the Big Ten ahead, because I think they have similar issues, and we can't talk about the Big Ten collectively and only talk about Oregon, Indiana, and Ohio State.
Yes.
Like, what's the talent distribution at Rutgers? What's the talent distribution at UCLA? What's the talent distribution at Purdue? Sorry, Chet.
Wow, hater.
But I just, have those teams gotten collectively better because of the talent distribution?
Here, the Big Ten at the top has more money. So, yes, those rosters are pretty dang sporty with Oregon, Ohio State. Like, they have more money. They have deeper pockets. Guess who also has a very expensive roster this year? Auburn. Guess who also has a very expensive roster this year? Penn State. So it's not a guarantee that, oh, well, you know what? Because we got more money, we're going to win the championship. It's not true. Things can absolutely implode in 2 seconds for you. You know who also has an expensive roster this year? Florida. You know who also has an expensive roster this year? Texas Tech. Like, it can go in either direction. It's not like it's, hey, here's the blueprint, boys. Let's go and do it. Like, all I need is $25 million. I can win you a title. It's not true. How many times did A&M collapse upon themselves in the last handful of years with a high-priced roster? Really, really expensive. So, yeah, those schools have more money. This year is kind of the last year where it's going to be like that because there are now going to be some limitations. That's why a lot of teams have front-loaded deals and tried to stack the deck this year. Like, it's all going to come back a little bit next year. It's going to become about coaching. And I do think when the salary gap between one player at Ohio State and the salary gap between that player at Ohio State and Alabama is tightened and shrunk, it's going to be a little different. Like, we sat with an Alabama player a couple weeks ago. He goes, yeah, I took way less money to come here, but I wanted to play at Alabama. Like, that, you're going to need to win a couple battles like that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I got offered way more money at Michigan. I got offered way more money at Tennessee. And I wanted to play at Alabama. And that was my dream. That was my dream school growing up. And that was it, since the opportunity was presented to me, I didn't care. Because I feel like playing at Alabama is going to give me a chance to play in the NFL. Like, that was my favorite school growing up. I always wanted to wear the crimson and white. That's what I want. So it didn't matter. So I think you need to it's going to get back to that a little bit. And there is some built-in equity that you have at certain places where guys will take less to go play there. That is not the case at a place like Texas Tech, where they're having to pay a 30% premium in some cases to get the guy that they want. For example, Romello Height, the reason why I'm citing this because it's out there. Romello Height was making $250,000 at Georgia Tech last year. And they were going to give him the same amount. And he decided to enter the portal just to hope to get it up to like 3, 4, 500,000, just to get a little bump in his last year, because he's probably not going to be like a super high level NFL guy. So he's like, I got to get what I can get now in college. Texas Tech offered him like 1.25.
Yeesh.
You know what I mean? Like what? How? He like 5x'd his money from last year, and like just because Texas Tech can. But that's going to adjust because it has to be honest and deliberate, real NIL, authentic NIL moving forward. So this is the last year of the super wild, wild west. Next year, it's come back to earth a little bit. So don't fret. Don't be concerned. It'll be just fine. You don't have to have the deepest pockets to win the championship.
All right, so there's that. Got to get to a break. Lee, see you on hold. Can get to you on the other side. And Stanford Steve coming up in 10 minutes right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning, 2:30 tomorrow. Jacksonville State's at FIU, CBS Sports Network. Gamecocks 7-3. Panthers 5-5 on the season. Southern Miss at South Alabama, also at 2:30. That's on E+. Southern Miss at 7-3. One of the surprises of college football this year we hadn't spent a lot of time talking about. 3 o'clock tomorrow, Georgia State is at Troy. Troy looking to get to 7 and wins. That game's on E+. Georgia State, Greg, at 1-9 with the talent they have, a little surprising. I mean, they have a receiver that I know a lot of Power 5 schools wanted to go get. A couple D linemen that could play at a lot of different places. TJ Finley at quarterback.
Oh boy.
I'm just saying 1-9. You would thought just some of the guys, the dudes they have, would have had them a little bit past that this year. And then right down here, downtown Birmingham, Protective Stadium, USF is going to be at UAB at 7-3 and 3-7, 2 o'clock tomorrow. So a big opportunity for UAB to go get a big win there as we near the end of the season. Let's quickly go to Lee in Cincinnati. He wants to talk college football. Welcome in, Lee.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. And I know I always talk about the Gators, and I'm sorry about that it's not Alabama or Auburn. But you two guys seem to be dialed in better than anybody else I know when it comes to coaching searches. So one question I have is, how come we're not hearing anything more about John Gruden possibly at Florida? Because he said he wants to coach in the SEC. He lives in Tampa. It seems like it'd be a perfect marriage. So I just don't understand why that has gone almost silent.
Can I ask you a question, Lee? And I don't mean to, direct this at you. Just in general. I would flip it around and say, why John Gruden?
Because I think he might be the best option there is, because I don't think that we're going to get Lane Kiffin. I think he would be stupid and foolish to leave Ole Miss. And because Gruden, he's got possibility, I guess, for lack of better words, and he showed that he can win at the next level. And I think that he would be able to draw players then, because he knows what it takes to get players to the NFL, because he knows what the NFL takes for players to be there. And so I think that would be a draw also for him to get top talent. And it's just a hope, but like I said, it's like anything else.
So you would as a Florida fan want John Gruden?
Actually, yes, I would.
Well, okay, let's throw this out there at you right now. If I gave you the option right now, let's say Lane Kiffin stays at Ole Miss, goes to LSU, whatever. Would you rather have John Gruden or Eli Drinkwitz?
I'd rather have John Gruden.
Would you rather have John Gruden or John Summerall?
Ooh, that's John. I would still say John Gruden.
Would you rather have John Gruden or Jed Fish?
Jed Fish.
Well, then why not throw Jed Fish out there as the guy you want to try to go to attack?
Because I don't think that he would ever leave Washington. But like I said,
hold on a second.
Hang on.
Easy there.
Hey, now, let's not get carried away now, huh?
I would disagree with you strongly on that one. And that's not to put Washington down. I think it's a really cool place. Obviously, now in the Big Ten, even though the revenue is going to be a little different for a few years. But Jed Fish is leaving Washington for Florida. I can promise you that, if that option is real.
Well, that's how highly I think of his coaching ability for what he's been able to do with he's done more with less at Washington than Eli Drinkwitz has at Missouri, or even
what about what he did at Arizona?
At Tulane. Exactly. So he knows what he's doing. He's flying under the radar. And I'm glad y'all totally took kind of gave me a thrashing about Jed Fish, because I was totally wrong. I didn't think he'd ever leave Washington.
I don't mean to thrash you. I get really confused, Lee, with the John Gruden stuff. And it's not that I think John Gruden is an elite offensive mind. I think John Gruden can be a good leader. But there's proof in this pudding that this has not. Oh, it's in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, right this second, like right now, that it doesn't always work. Like we are seeing it in the flesh, in the real. Right now, I'm not saying that John's going to be going to cheerleading competitions on the weekends, but
whoa.
We're watching it right this second that it doesn't always work that way.
That's very true. I didn't even think about that. That's not something I hadn't considered, but you're absolutely right. You would have thought that Belichick would have done a lot better.
That's what we're here for, Lee. We're here for
you,
man.
The thing is, you don't need.
Thanks for the call.
You don't need a guy you don't need a splashy hire at Florida. That's what I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around. It's you're Florida. What are we doing? You do not need splash at all. You need no splash at all.
What do you think they need right now, though? What would you put at the top of the characteristic list for, okay, if you get that, you're going to win soon and maybe win big soon? Because you can't say anybody. Because Dan can call plays, man. Dan won at Mississippi State, pretty big, and it kind of didn't work. Billy's a winner. I think Billy's a really good coach. It didn't work. So, what does Florida need right now? I think a lot of people think a lot of different things. I don't even know if I can sit here and tell you if they get this and this, they're rolling. Because Billy accumulated talent. He got guys in there through the portal. I mean, look at Sturdivant this year. Got him. Look at Pearsall last year. Like, he got guys in the portal that could play. Cam Jackson, a D tackle from Memphis. Like, I didn't hear another soul outside of this show telling y'all Cam Jackson was going to be good. Now, he wasn't good every week, but there are a couple weeks they don't win the Tennessee game 2 years ago without him. They don't. Almost single-handedly won that game. They went and got that guy. So, I mean, I don't know. We got Jaden Ball. I bet every SEC team from now until we're all dead would take Jaden Ball. Every single one of them. So it's like, I don't know. I look at this sometimes and I'm like, what are the characteristics that Florida needs to win right this second? Is it just accumulation of talent and you just open the floodgates? That's kind of proven. Like, who had more talent on offense than some of the Dan Mullen Florida teams? With Kadarius Toney and Kyle Pitts and all these, I mean, dudes everywhere.
They were filthy.
I mean, all right,
so filthy.
So that part didn't go so great. We've had great play callers on offense. We've had different styles on offense. We've had the guy that can go get every creative name known to man in your athletic department, like a guy for every single job that can come in and help offset everything. That didn't work. I'm just very curious. Like, what is it going to take? Is it just a motivator? Is it somebody to kind of rule with an iron fist to a certain extent? Is it quarterback whisperer? I don't know. So we're open for answers here. If anybody's got them, let us know.
I can't deliver that for you. I have a hard time understanding. I really do. I really struggle with it. I do not understand the Gruden appeal. I'm not saying he wouldn't win. I think he's a good coach. But college is a different animal, man. It's a different animal. I know it's different now. I get it. I get that it's become more like the pros. It has. Like, no one can deny that. But, man alive, like, you got to nail it. You got to nail it. And I don't know for sure if John Gruden is a home run. I think in the press conference he is. The guy's on television. He's highly entertaining. But I don't know if I'd want him coaching my team. Without maybe a little bit of a track record in college of success and building a program and dealing with boosters and being a politician and doing all this other stuff. I don't know, man. It stresses me out.
100%. All right, we'll get to a break. Come back with Stanford Steve next right here on Jocks. All right, welcome back in. McElroy and Cubelic in the morning. It is 9:36, Friday, November 21st, right here on Jocks. And G-Mac, he joins us each and every week. It's our buddy Stanford Steve.
Stanford Steve is brought to us by our friends at Atlas Senior Living. They continue to do an amazing job for all of their loved ones. Atlas Senior Living is a premier senior housing company currently serving residents and families in 41 communities across the United States. Please visit atlasseniorliving.com to find a community near you. And while you're there, you can join the football pick'em contest. Highly recommend you going and joining that. Winning a $150 Amazon gift card. So go and check them out. It's atlasseniorliving.com. Stanford, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, boys. I'm good. Very good. Great time of year. Just hoping to help you guys chime in.
He got Cole's the chime in guy. Big Chime. That's his new nickname.
Big Chime in.
Chime.
And I think I've actually gone without it today and yesterday.
Yep. You have.
No.
I'm not afraid to self-scout now.
No.
I'll do it publicly while I shame listeners, apparently, but I'll do it.
I think you need to lean into it.
Hey, hold on, Greg. Before we go into actual games, Steve, I don't know if you just heard our conversation right before you hopped on. We're talking about the Florida job, and Gruden's thrown out by a listener, and I get it, but it got us to this question. What if you're listing traits, qualities, intangible thing, like what does the Florida head coach need to win?
Yeah. It's a great question, man, because I thought Billy was an absolute home run. I really did. Just what he brought from the table, how he had to build programs at previous places, and then the experience he had, coach, being at Alabama under Saban, like he had everything you wanted. It feels like the Gruden thing is just because he's been a guy that's been great with offense and he's a loud personality, and that was Spurrier. Like that's what it feels like to me. That's what people down there are comfortable with. You didn't have that crazy personality, but I thought you had a good offensive mind in Dan Mullen when you hired him. That, fizzled out. So here's the deal. We're talking in our meetings and our calls this week. It's like coaching hires, the playoff teams. You can't make everybody happy, and there are going to be serious feelings hurt no matter what the decisions are made. And that's, I hate to say it, but that's what these ADs get paid to do, man. Like you got to go with what you feel is best. You could have the search committees and alumni, reaching out and having their guy, but it's on you. We've seen guys, lose jobs because of bad hires. But to me, I feel like they want a big personality that's a great offensive play caller. And that just feels like because it's been instilled and that's what they've won with in Gainesville, if that makes any sense.
No, it does. And I understand it. I don't know if I agree with it, but I understand it.
Yeah, correct.
And he's done a good job of marketing himself, too. Like, I mean, let's be real. Like, the guy's done a good job of marketing himself, does social media stuff, done the television for forever. So I can understand why there's a bit of an appeal there. But do you think that he becomes prohibitive as a possible candidate because of the lack of success that Bill Belichick has experienced this year?
I would more so lean on Greg, the idea of not having done it in college. Like Bill's still going through it. And that's its own entity. I think it's just that's what would scare me about the Gruden thing is that the day-to-day for a head coach is nothing like in college is nothing like a day-to-day for an NFL head coach. And he's been, he's won a Super Bowl. He's been the best of the best. So I just think the idea of getting yourself into something that you haven't done and that you need to do very well is what would scare me. That's all.
Yeah, there haven't been a ton of NFL guys with no college experience walk in and just be great at it. There haven't, and specifically with where we are right this second, which is different than where we were 2 years ago. So it's just going to be tough to think about.
And I was going to say, guys, like I got to Stanford right after Bill Walsh's second stint. He was a coach at Stanford, went to the Niners, won all the Super Bowls, and then he came back to Stanford. And being with guys, I was the first recruiting class after him. The new staff was the one that brought me in, and you could hear guys talk about how things weren't dialed in. They weren't organized. Practice sessions would go long. There was a lack of scripts. Like the day-to-day stuff, like, meetings would go long or be early. Like it was kind of sporadic, and that was because he just thought he had all this time, and that was coming from the pros. You don't. You got to be super, super structured. So if that offers anything, the idea of the NFL coming back to college, having guys seen that firsthand, I always think is interesting getting that perspective.
Minnesota Northwestern. I'm not sure if you've taken a peek at this total yet. From the rig, 39.5. Which direction you going?
I got to go under. I mean, you don't know what seriously though, like these Northwestern games, like you're getting into close to December, the wind at Wrigley, I mean, we hear about it all year while the Cubs are playing. What do you think it's going to be in December? I thought it played a factor in Michigan Northwestern last week. So I would definitely look at the under there. I mean, Minnesota, when people want to talk about metrics and pace of play, I don't think there's anybody that plays slower.
All right, let's get to some of the winners this weekend. A couple that I love. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I really like Kentucky getting 8.5. I think that one makes a lot of sense. I really like Pitt in a bounce back here. Like, am I crazy for liking Pitt?
No, not at all. Not at all. That's the thing we get into. That's the NFL disease, Greg, is the recency bias. Trying to forget what a team looked like last week. It's really hard. And Pitt had the big stage with us there, and Notre Dame came out and gave it to us 14-0. Within a blink, and they couldn't recover. I still like their pieces, and I mean, Georgia. Haynes King covers up so much for the Georgia Tech team. Like the offense, obviously, he's a great player, and that scheme is awesome. I think Buster does an incredible job. But even like people talk about Haynes King, and they don't talk about the lack of talent on the defensive side. That's how much he covers up. So I'm not there with Georgia. I mean, you saw it last week. That they should have lost that game to a bad Boston College team. So I could ride with Pitt for sure. You're going to have immediate refocus after getting beat by Notre Dame. They'll be better. I still think Heinzel is going to be a really good player. And I like the offensive weapons that Pitt brings to the table. So maybe the over there too. It doesn't feel like the defense. It all depends on Pitt's defense. They've been good against the run. They've been good against the run, but they got swamped last week against ND, who's, above average.
You may have not taken a look at this one, but one I think is a little weird. Jacksonville State only a 1.5 favorite at FIU. It's one of the best rush teams in college football. They've been pretty good on the road this year. I mean, listen, I know it's Pitbull Stadium. I get it, but
oh yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I love Jacksonville State in that spot.
Yeah, it's been an awesome story with all the names that are coaching there and what they lost with Rich Rod going to West Virginia. It's been really cool. Gets weird when you go on the road, Cole. That line's a little sticky to me. I figured Jacksonville State should be given more points.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
All right. What about Miami? Would you lay them with Miami knowing they got to just absolutely house some teams? It feels a little tricky.
Yeah, the deal I get there, Greg, is I know the secondary has some guys out. I still think that defense is really good up front. It feels like one of those games where they get a defensive touchdown. Beck knows this is it, back against the wall. And their offense has looked better. NC State, they pounded them. NC State's got an amazing resume when you look at that. But I would – it's hard saying you trust Miami. But with that defense, I could see myself laying the points in Blacksburg.
Did you just say Beck against the wall?
No, I said Carson Beck, and then I said this is it, back against the wall. That's it.
No, I heard Beck against the wall. It's good.
I'm not a man with words, so you know that.
You have been on game day for a while now, coming up with your tricky names for Saturdays and whatnot. See how that one's going to go. Do you have a feel on Kentucky Vandy? Because we kind of like where this Kentucky team is getting 8.5 at home. We think Vandy's a better football team, but I think it's probably a different Kentucky team than probably a lot of people are looking at in this spot.
Yeah, I haven't watched Kentucky live the last couple of weeks, and just going back, it feels like, I mean, anything's better than what their offense was going back to the beginning of the year. They obviously make the quarterback switch. Vandy giving a bigger number and expected to win, knowing what's up against them next week. It feels like over a touchdown's too much. Kentucky's capable. I think you're going to get good defense on the road. That feels like, what's that total? That feels like an under.
52.5, 54.5. Sorry.
Yeah. That feels like a slow, methodical approach for both teams on offense.
Last one. You ready? This
ready.
one's not necessarily out of left field. How do you feel about Arkansas on the money line?
I've been staring
Just
at
saying.
it all week, Greg.
Just putting it out there.
I get it. It's so fun because I've always thought, I think you called this game. It was one of my favorite, like when Texas first got in with Bijan,
Yes.
and they went to Arkansas and got absolutely rolled.
Killed.
I just the hatred Arkansas has for Texas is so much.
Yes.
I love it so much. And you're gonna get it. I mean, Bobby's gonna be drawing stuff up in the sand if he has to score points. I really like the over in this game. It just feels like a get right spot for Texas's offense, knowing how bad Arkansas is. But so the over and the points. If that all that Texas has gone through, if they were to drop this one at home before A&M, that would be cataclysmic. But I could ride with Palin and the points in the over.
They're not losing this game. Like, stop, Greg. They're not. Come on.
I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. That's it. I'm just
You
putting it
realize
out
what
there.
Arkansas would have? I know they like Braylon Russell. They run the ball fairly well, but like Taylor Green's got to throw the ball to win the game, right?
Yes.
Which means the Arkansas tackles are going to have to block who?
Someone?
Fair. And we know the individuals who are those someones on the Texas defense. So, in other words, no. You know the spy's going to be, right?
You're so negative.
Yeah.
You're
I'm
no
fair.
fun.
I'm real.
You used to be fun.
Not for an 0-6 in conference Arkansas team that has no pulse on defense. No, I'm not.
Gosh,
I got
you
one
are
for
no
Greg.
fun.
Go for it, Steve.
Greg, I'm looking at we're here in Eugene, obviously, and I'm looking at these pass offenses that Oregon has faced, right? I mean, it's not good. When you look at the rankings of these offenses, Oklahoma State, 116th, Oregon State, 65th, Northwestern, 118th, Penn State, 114th.
Whoa.
Indiana's 43rd. Wisconsin, 132nd. Iowa, 131st. Minnesota, 103rd. I was here for the Indiana game, and they looked very comfortable throwing the football down the field. I'm not saying go routes and deep crossers, but like those fades, the back shoulder fades they threw on point. I still feel like the conditions look fine, which SC has overcome and couldn't against Notre Dame. I just feel like Mayava's going to be able to, if he has time, those guys are going to get open, don't you think?
Yeah, I want to take SC so bad. Like, I really, really want to take SC. Like, I want to. I just can't unsee the Notre Dame tape with the safeties coming up and trying to fit the run. Dude, if you're not fitting the run against Notre Dame, you're going to get squashed by Oregon's backs. Like, those backs are so good, and they keep coming at you. Like, I just don't know if they can stop the run against them. I think they'll score. SC will score. I feel good about that.
Yeah. I just, and then I go back on the other side. That's what scares you about it is, I mean, we make a big deal about the last drive, but Oregon took it to Iowa running the football, man. Like, they rolled their sleeves up and just ran it down their throat. And that's the one thing is Oregon. I mean, those same teams that are horrible passing offense, those are some good run defenses. And I think Oregon proved a lot in running the football against those teams. So I think it's an awesome matchup. I just wonder, like, what's the winning score going to be? I think it's got to be 34.
Sounds about right. Gosh. I like that Greg can't make himself take USC, but he's going to take Arkansas over Texas this weekend.
I didn't take Arkansas over Texas. I'm taking the points. I'm just saying I could see the upset in both those games. I could see the upset in my game. Like, I feel like you could see in Mizzou, Oklahoma. Like, I could see that.
Much less of an upset in that game.
Oh, it's 2-point difference according to Vegas. It's not that big.
Does it change a lot if Purdue plays?
I don't know. You know, I think that's the big question is, like, How mobile is he? You know what I mean?
Correct.
The guy,
big question.
I thought the guy broke his leg in half 4 weeks ago.
I was standing right
it's
there on the sideline.
insane.
I thought he was done.
Yes.
Drink told us that like 1% of ankle dislocations are not fractured, and this was the 1% of that injury. So I do think he dislocated it, but it didn't fracture. So he's way ahead of schedule. But I think it's a fair question. But I also know what Kirby asked the quarterback to do in that system when it's good, when it's really good, and it's a lot of movement, specifically some Q runs at times to keep defenses honest.
Yeah.
And could he even do that stuff? I'm not against that front, man. I don't want to test my ankle against that group.
That's for sure.
All right, Steve. Thanks, man. Always appreciate it. We'll be watching tomorrow
All right,
morning.
boys. Travel
Bright and early.
safe. It's a great time of year to travel.
Yeah.
Great time of year to travel.
Flight was already canceled today, so late last night.
Sure.
We're
Heck
good.
yeah.
All right, boys.
All right,
All right,
Stanford
see you,
Steve
buddy.
joining us on the Higginbotham Hotline with us each and every week. Thanks to our friends at Atlas Senior Living. Back with more Mac and Cube next. Super Sofa Game of the Week, the one game that you would watch if you could only have that one this weekend. And I'm going to be honest with you, mine completely just shifted because of what Stanford Steve told us. USC, Oregon, 2:30 CBS is where I'm going. I want to see if Oregon can stop a pass.
Good choice. I love that. I think that's a real question mark that is worth exploring. I'm going to go with my game, Missouri, Oklahoma, 11 o'clock Central Time, ABC.
Ooh, that gives me quite a bit to take. But of everything else out there, I think I'm going to roll with Tennessee, Florida, 6:30 ABC. I want to see if Florida can actually do it. I mean, hey, especially the first half, because that's what Cole's saying. And don't forget, you can spruce up your home for the holidays with TD's Black Friday sale. Thousands of items for the entire home marked down as much as 50%, plus you'll pay no interest till 2027. The Black Friday sale going on now at TD's Fine Furniture in Summerton.
All right, don't forget about our friends at Andrew Sports Medicine. They take care of Auburn. They've taken care of me before. They can take care of you. 7 locations across central Alabama: Birmingham, Coleman, Gardendale, Hoover, Pelham, and Trussville. Go to andrewsportsmedicine.com today to begin your journey over victory over injury. We're back Monday. 3-Man Front is next.